From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Mark Carney is wrapping up his trip to the United Nations General Assembly, feeling optimistic. There are many possibilities for Canada.
Prime Minister Mark Carney met with world leaders and CEOs in New York this week during the United Nations General Assembly. He says in every moment where there's a crack, there's also possibility.
I'm even more certain than ever that in this new era, Canada won't just endure this shift. We will prosper.
U.S. President Donald Trump continued his skepticism of multilateralism in the United Nations during his speech at the General Assembly on Tuesday. Before his departure from New York today, Carney's set to attend a UN summit focused on sustainable and resilient global economy and have a meeting with the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Kelly Malone, The Canadian Press, New York.
The federal government's plan to shed office space has been derailed by its push to get public servants back in the office. A briefing binder prepared for the minister in charge of government transformation says recent developments have undermined the goal of offloading half its office portfolio by 2034. Last year's budget projected a savings of nearly $4 billion over 10 years by reducing the federal office footprint. Now, the government sees a savings of $2.5 billion by unloading about a third of its office space. The briefing said the original plan has been affected by the growth in employees who need office space and the updated directive setting out how many days they must be in the office. Rescue teams in southwestern Alberta are into their fourth day of their search for a 5-year-old boy missing since Sunday. Darius McDougall of Lethbridge was reported missing after he didn't return from a walk with family members to their site near Island Lake Campground, south of Crow's Nest Pass. Alberta Search and Rescue's Adam Kennedy says they are undeterred by the lack of success so far.
There are some statistics that go behind this as far as survivability. We are still in the stage right now where we are still very, very hopeful.
He says they've expanded the area they're scouring in the rough terrain because Darius may have wandered further. And Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air less than a week after his suspension following comments made about the recent murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The crowd stood and clapped for him for over a minute. Kimmel thanked everyone who's reached out to him over the past week, including fellow talk show hosts, all supporting his right to speak. Kimmel got emotional when clarifying how he felt about Kirk's shooting death.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
Kimmel nearly broke down again in praising Kirk's widow, who publicly forgave her husband's killer. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the playoff-bound Toronto Blue Jays will try to get closer to securing an American League East Division pennant tonight when they again play host to the Boston Red Sox. The Jays lost 4-1 last night. Pitcher Kevin Gausman says it's hard to ignore the pressure to get the top seed with 5 games left in the regular season.
I think starters notice it a little bit more because we're out there before the game and kind of feel the energy in the building.
The Blue Jays lead the New York Yankees by just 1 game for the AL East Division title. The Detroit Tigers lost 5-2 to Cleveland, putting the Tigers and Guardians in a tie for first place in the AL Central. Guardians DH David Fry was expected to spend the night in hospital after being hit in the face by a pitch from Detroit's Tarek Skubal. And in NHL preseason play, the Ottawa Senators scored a 3-2 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs in overtime. Montreal doubled Philly. The Edmonton Oilers got by Winnipeg, and it was the Calgary Flames over Seattle. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.